This video is for you if you feel like you cannot ignore your current 3D reality. If it's got so much of your attention, if it really causes you a lot of distress or pain or sadness, and it's just got a lot of your focus, a lot of your energy on it, and you just cannot ignore it, but you want to manifest the solution, this is for you. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliet Cleary, I'm a manifestation coach, and if you're new here and you like the content, make sure to like, share and subscribe. If you'd like to work with me or for information on my programs or my free product, that's in the description box below. You know, as a creator, that where you place your attention is where you place your energy. What you give attention to is what becomes more through the law of attraction. That's how it works. So of course we know that we want to give less attention to the things that are not what we want to experience, whether we're actually experiencing it now or we just don't want to experience it in general. And then when it comes to, your 3D, your current reality that you're living and the things that are just really in your face, you don't like them, you don't want to be living it. And then it's like, okay, we know we have to give less of our attention there to, ignore our current reality. But it can be really hard. So sometimes it's something that's just really upsetting and it's got a lot of your attention. It's really in your face. Or even if it's the fact that you want to manifest, a different work environment or working for yourself or abundance, but you are working a lot at your current job that you don't like. So, and that's got a lot of your attention because you're there a lot of the time. So what I'm going into in this video is going to help you if you're dealing with either of those situations. You do not have to ignore your 3D reality all the time, and you can't, right? You're living it with your senses, with your physical senses. You are living it, you're observing it, it's there. You're either feeling it, whether it's in your body or you're experiencing it in your outer world with people and situations and circumstances. So it doesn't make sense that you could just completely ignore your current reality, and you don't have to. But you do want to have a kind of ratio of where you're placing your attention more of the time. So when something is really, really difficult for you to ignore, or every time you see it or experience it, it brings up these strong emotions and you kind of spiral and you don't feel good, you react, right? It's what do you do in that situation? Well, your goal has to be to focus a little bit less. Could you focus on the current circumstances that you don't like, that you don't want? Could you focus on it a little bit less today? Could you react to it a little bit less? So yeah, even if it's really, really hard, the fact that it feels really, really difficult and it brings up strong emotion means that you've got a lot of momentum on that subject, on, you focusing on whatever that thing is, those areas of your life or area of your life, which means that you have been thinking about it a lot and having a feeling response. Okay, over time of practicing that, it becomes strong. There's momentum, there's emotion there. Okay, so in the beginning, yeah, it feels impossible sometimes, or it feels very, very difficult to shift onto a different subject, or to find something to be grateful for, a positive aspect, or to find relief and to soothe yourself, because you're so used to practicing what you usually practice. You're so used to telling the story that goes along with when you focus on this thing or when you think about it or experience it, the story that comes up with that, okay? The thoughts that you're telling around this thing or this subject, this area in your life, you practicing that, you choosing to react and stay in that reaction and practice the thoughts, the emotions, the story, that's what keeps it so active and what makes it feel so strong. You can't turn your attention away from it. You can, but it's a gradual process. So, and I feel a lot of us are just we want the immediate results of okay, I just want to be able to completely ignore my reality or these problems in my life right now, even though I've been focusing on them 24/7, right? And it's like, well, there's momentum there. So we have to baby step this. We have to take this day by day, moment by moment. Okay, I'm going to make this decision, this promise to myself that I'm going to focus on this a little bit less today. I'm going to notice when I start to practice the story, when I start to practice that pattern and just kind of go down that rabbit hole of all the thoughts and emotions that I normally think about this, the beliefs that I hold around this, and practicing those, I'm going to catch myself and I'm going to make a new choice. And that new choice is to do something or say something or whatever. It doesn't matter what you do, but something that makes you feel some relief, that moves you in the right direction. Because since this is all about your emotional state, right, the feeling, it matters how you feel. And so if you're reaching for a little bit of relief, then you are moving in the right direction. So it's, instead of practicing the story, is like just practicing it a little less today. Okay, when you notice you're reacting, practice it a little less with love and compassion toward yourself, not in a thing of like, I have to push this away. I really don't like this. I hate this. You know, it's just like, okay, allowing it to be there, feeling your emotions, and then making a new choice and choosing to feel a little bit better, choosing to find the relief as opposed to that kind of like inclination you have to go down and practice that pattern, to practice that limiting story, that limiting belief. Because you give your power to everything. Everything. Okay, it's all about you. And your power is about where you place your attention. So if you're gradually placing less and less and less attention on the things that are really unwanted or have been upsetting you, you're giving them less and less power. And as I've said before, if you don't feed it, it will die, right? You can't serve two masters, as Neville Goddard says. So you can't focus on, you know, the good feeling things or what you want and be focused on what you don't want or your past or what you're currently living that you don't like at the same time. You can't do both. You can't think a positive thought and a negative thought at the same time. It is one or the other. You cannot serve two masters. So it is your choice. It is your choice. You are not the victim. You are the creator. You are powerful, and it is your choice whether you want to practice that pattern and that story and go down that road, or whether you want to feel better and go down that road and see what's at the end of that road. You can't be focused on what's going wrong consistently, mostly, like giving a lot of your attention to what's going wrong, what needs to be fixed, the problem, and get what you want as well. Again, you can't serve the two masters. It's one or the other. So what are you feeding? And again, when it's really, really difficult, it's about letting this be a gradual process, moment by moment, day by day. So today, to react a little bit less than you did yesterday, right? To practice, you know, negative emotions a little bit less than you did yesterday. And then tomorrow, right? Again, a little bit less, and focusing a little bit more on something that feels like relief, something that brings you relaxation, that gives you a better perception, gets you to see things differently or feel differently, doing things that make you feel good or make you happy or whatever it is. But basically, you giving more attention to your personal alignment, bringing it back to this focus on you, and then less attention to what's going on out there in your 3D reality, right? That you don't like, that you don't want. And can you see that where we trip up is when we are so focused on, what do I have to do? What do I do? How can this happen? How can I make this happen? How can I change? How can I change my limiting beliefs? Like, what do I have to do? What is there to do? And in the moment that you're asking that question, you've created the desire, right? You're strengthening your desire, but you're not allowing it in. You can't allow it in from that place. So anytime you feel like that, It's letting that go, because you can't receive when you're feeling like that. You're in lack. And it's about saying, well, how can I feel better? So instead of asking, what should I do? Or how do I do this? Like, what is there for me to do? What should I do? Just change that to, okay, how can I feel better? How can I feel better? Because when you feel better, now you have access to the answers, to the pathways, to anyone or anything that's going to actually help you and propel you forward into what you want. But as long as you are focusing on things you don't like, complaining, noticing the negatives, pointing out anything that does not make you feel good or makes you feel less than good, anything less than good, then you are not in a state of receiving what you want. So I heard Abraham Hicks say in an audio the other day, every moment that you are complaining is a moment that you are not in the receiving mode. So every single time that you are noticing, you're complaining, you're noticing the negatives, you're focused on what's wrong, how to fix it. Every time you're focused in that way, or, having that negative reaction to your 3D reality, you are also not in the mode to receive what you want. Every time, every moment that you complain is a moment that you are not in the receiving mode. Realizing that in the moment, it serves you in no way does it serve you to focus on this thing and to keep feeling bad. Go get feeling better. Go find some relief. Whatever that is for you. It's different for every person, but self-soothing as opposed to sitting in the discomfort and fighting against it and pushing against it and asking how and why and, what do I do and how do I fix this? And I hate this. And, and then practicing a limiting story about whatever that thing is. The best thing for you to do is to lessen your attention over time. Gradually lessen how much you complain. So complain a little bit less today. Complain a little bit less tomorrow. Catch yourself when you're doing it. And lovingly, compassionately let that go. Release it and make a new choice to feel better. Even if you're in a situation where, a lot of your time is spent, like, for example, at a job or whatever it is for you, and a lot of your time is spent living in the reality, the experience that you don't like, the fastest way to move to somewhere wanted, the fastest way to release that unwanted situation that you're in right now, even if you're like working many hours of the day and you feel like, oh, I don't have, the time to be able to, do these, this energy work and things like that. Like, this has so much of my attention. My question to you is, could you make the most out of where you are currently? I know that you could feel different, even in a situation that's not ideal, that is reflecting to you something that you don't want, or it's reflecting back to you the fact that you haven't manifested what you wanted yet. I know that you could feel differently, because if for example, you're wanting to leave your job and have, live abundantly and have a lot of freedom. If I was to give you an amount of money that would set you free, right? That would make you feel freedom and would make you financially free. But I'm giving it to you, but you haven't got it yet. And you're still having to work up until I give you that money. So say 3 weeks time, right? But you're still having to work within those 3 weeks. Wouldn't your mood be better, right? Your mood would be better, even though you're still working, because your perception has changed. You feel good, it's coming, right? So you have the potential to feel differently. There is always that potential to feel differently, no matter what situation you're in, but it's about making the most of whatever situation you're in. Because if you can focus on the best parts of it, making sure that throughout your day, you're just complaining less and complaining less, focusing on positive things more, like positive parts of it more, appreciating things more and more, focusing on, you know, any little thing or daydream or whatever in your mind to just get you feeling like, you know, a little bit of relief, or maybe even a little bit of, you know, more positive emotion, you know, some joy or gratitude or whatever it is. And you're focused on complaining less and less, reacting a little less, like not staying in those reactions, your circumstances would change so quickly. You would be either moved out of that job, you would find an opportunity, something would happen to you, like you would be led to a solution, a pathway. You would be led to something that you want, okay? Because you're making the most of the current situation. You're giving less attention to why this situation feels so bad, because you know that you have the potential to feel good. It's a mindset change. If you knew the money was coming, absolutely, you wouldn't feel like anything bad going through your workday. You know, and apply this to your specific situation, because it's the same for every situation, like even in a relationship or with your health. It's like you could manage to feel differently. You could, but it's a mindset change. Because if you knew the money was coming, you knew it wasn't there yet in your account, but you know it's coming, I'm going to give you that money, you know it's a done deal, you would feel differently. Your workday would look different. It would feel different. You'd be basking more. You'd be appreciating whatever. You don't care about anything that's going wrong. You know what I mean? You have the ability to feel that way now, but you don't want to let yourself feel that way until you get some sort of sign, some sort of evidence of, okay, I know it's coming, so I can feel relief now. I can feel joy now. I can appreciate now. I can stop complaining because I know it's coming. But that's not how it works. If you can start making the most of whatever situation you're in, again, whether it's health, whether it's your physical appearance, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your work environment, whatever it is, you start making the most of any little piece and just complaining less and less. You free up space, you free up energy. Things are going to start changing. Ideas will start being downloaded by you. You will start to receive inspired action to take, and it will feel very strong and very good that you won't be able to deny it. Like it's just a hell yes. You'll start feeling differently. So you'll notice things start shifting. You have a different perception on the things around you, and then you attract new opportunities, new potentials into your life. You've shifted onto a new timeline. But as long as you're complaining, noticing you don't like this, you don't like that, I'm not where I want to be, like all those thoughts on whatever subject keeps you exactly where you are. It keeps you where you are, and that's what you have to remind yourself in the moment. Is like, every time I'm complaining about this, it's keeping me stuck right here in this reality where this is a problem that I have to complain about. And oftentimes we get addicted to our emotions, our negative emotions. They feel like home. They feel normal. They feel natural. Half the time we don't even realize we're doing it. We could be feeling shame, guilt. We could be feeling anger, resentment, and we don't even know it because it feels normal. We practiced it for so long, it feels normal. So become aware. Become aware of what you're focused on, and then notice if it's not making you feel good in any way or any relief at all in your emotional state, to practice that less. And of course, in the beginning, it's difficult. You have been giving so much attention to things that you don't like that they have very strong emotional charges, and you want to focus there, and it's going to come up. Law of attraction is going to give you those same thoughts that you're used to thinking. And that's when you have to be the most dedicated to yourself and your alignment, how you feel. And then it gets easier over time because you're releasing a little bit of your attention to these things, right? These thoughts, these things in your 3D reality. You're releasing attention to them. You're letting go of them little by little. Like, you think that your problems are attached to you, but you're attached to your problems. And when you gradually let them go, from like a little bit less attention, over time, those things will resolve or completely disappear, okay? Because you only keep them alive by your attention. And every spiritual teacher has taught us exactly that. You will not stay in a place, whether that's, a workplace, a living environment, a relationship, health condition, something to do with your body, weight. You will not stay in a place or in a situation that is upsetting or doesn't serve you or is not what you want if you do this. You won't and you can't. It is against law, okay? If you're feeling better and you're actually doing this to feel better and you actually are feeling better over time, little by little, you will gravitate to new people, new situations, new circumstances, new things. You will gravitate toward things that now serve you, that are wanted. You will not stay. But you will stay in something that doesn't serve you, that you don't like, that maybe you even hate, if you're practicing that. So your choice today, it is your decision. Where am I going to place my energy? Where am I going to put my attention most of the time? Remembering that you don't have to be feeling super good or super happy all the time. You don't have to be aligned all the time to make that shift into something or something new, someone, whatever, the thing that you're wanting. You do not need to be aligned all the time. Just tip the scale so that you're more aligned than you're not. Okay, a bit of a long video, but if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much, and I hope that it helped you. If it did, let me know by giving me a like and commenting down below and subscribing if you haven't already. All right, have a beautiful day and I'll see you on the next one.